Hey, what's up guys? Today in this video we are going to take our application to the next level where we create our add expense form. So just to give you a quick recap, what we have done so far is if we click on this welcome to dashboard, then we'll end up on a page where we are showing this list of expenses, which is a scrollable list, and we have also implemented a pull to refresh. Okay, for some reason my gesture using the trackpad doesn't work too well. Let me try and again do that. Okay, right, go back. Okay, I don't know, but yeah, I always find it difficult to do a pull to refresh using my trackpad. But yeah, it does refresh. And then if we click on an individual item, then we are able to see the detail. Obviously right now we are showing only the description, but everything from this information is using HTTP calls. So we have our Laravel API which is providing this input. Now what we will do today is, on click of this button, I will take the user to a page where we will have a form, and on click of that form we will but rather on submitting that form we will be creating a new expense item. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we will come to this page, which is our expense page, and inside that I would ideally like to handle this button that on click of that we should take the user to add expense pages. So first of all, as I said, expenses page is where we have that floating action button. Okay, so this is one page where we will be making a change, and we will need one new page called add expense. Let's say .dart. I will steal the code from the dashboard page because it is going to be very similar. Dashboard becomes what I would say add expense, like this. Add expense as the title. Gesture detector, I don't need that, but I have a body inside that. Maybe I can do something like this. Oops. And obviously I'll have to remove it later on, so let's just see. Okay, this is not working. Let me see what's there in body. Inside the body I can do something like constant text add expense page, and oh, I know what the problem is. When I have removed the code, this is what it should ideally look like. Okay, so we have this page which is add expense, and it's a stateless widget. Right now we are showing only this text, and if we go to this page, right, which is our listing, here inside this floating action button we have this on press. So what we will do is, inside this on press I'll get this function kind of a thing. I'll do navigator dot push. Inside that I get the first argument as context, and the second argument is the route. So I will do material page route. Okay, it gets the builder, and the second thing which we will do is first pass the context and do something like constant add the page. So add expense like this. And now if everything is right, I don't know why I'm getting this in a very weird looking thing. Anyways, doesn't matter. This icons are quite big. I don't know how that came in, but if we have made all our code correct, then let me just reload the application. So we are on the dashboard. I click on it. I click on this, and we are on this new page, which is add expense page. And I can click back to get back to this listing and go back over here. So yes, the basic first step is done, which is on click, we are taking the user to the page. But then this is really very basic. We haven't really done anything major. What we will have to do is create the form, the component, which is add form, or rather expense add form dot dart. Okay, so now this is going to be a stateful widget. So how do I do that? Stateful widget, right? This is from the Flutter plugin that I'm using. We are going to name this component as expense add form. And there are so many errors. I know why this is happening. I need to go to stateful widget and import material.dart, and everything is gone. Okay, that's fine. In this section, I have nothing to change. However, we are going to create a form, right? So we will not ideally return a container, but rather we will return a form. Okay, and in here, the form expects a key. This key is how Flutter will be able to know or rather identify the form. So if you have multi page forms, then this key will help you a lot in identifying the form and get the state of that particular form. So we need to define a key in this form. Okay, but obviously we haven't declared it. What we can do is to final underscore form key. Okay, this is equal to global key, and this is form state, like so. Okay, this is, I'm doing exactly how the documentation said, so there's nothing too fancy. This is the syntax, so you need to follow that. That's about it. Then the form expects a child, and that's the reason it is complaining. Okay, now inside the child I will have column, obviously LUN column, and inside that I will be expecting children's, and these are going to be of type widget. Okay, what do we have? Let me have a padding of constant edge insert symmetric. Okay, this is basically I'm doing some how do you say, a UI thing to get some spaces in between the form elements, but otherwise I'll have padding and then child, and inside child I will have my text form field. Okay, this is the text box which is going to come on the form. Okay, so let me see, this is the form. Can I have only this much to render over here inside our page? So constant expense add form, like so. Go back in here, and can you see this form, right? The keyboard comes up. So basically we are in business, the form is coming up, and now quickly we can do two things. This is array, right? So there is going to be one form field which is for the description, and there will be one form field which is for the amount. Okay, and that's how we will make a small simple little form which adds an expense. So padding is here, If I add the second one, you can see there is some gap between these two. Let's add a little bit of how do you say, placeholder, right? So I'll do something like, so I'm trying to remember the thing. It was decoration. Inside decoration, the property is constant input decoration, if I'm not wrong, and label style, or was it label text? I think label text is what we want to do. So this will be enter the description and enter amount, like this. And let's see the form. And can you see this nice animation where if you focus, it becomes smaller, otherwise, yeah, it takes the entire thing. So in HTML, we have placeholder. This is how we show it in the mobile forms. Okay. Now we have text field. This text field is having a placeholder, but then we need some validations, right? So for the validation, again, how do I do the select? Whoops, why is it not doing that? So validator. Now validation is something which will be automatically executed when the form is submitted for each text field, and it will check. Now in here I will get the value. Okay, and what we are going to do is we are going to return if the value is equal to null, or if the value is empty, right, which is the case, then it means the validation has failed. So if the validation has failed, what we will do is we will return a message, please fill data. Okay, please enter, maybe that's a better way to do things. And then if the validation is not failing, then we return null. Okay, and I think it will require a semicolon. Okay, and in here I will add please enter a description and please enter the amount, like so. Okay, now this is obviously something which will not be visible because we have created the form, but where is the submit, right? We don't have a submit yet. So let me copy this. Yeah, this is what I want to copy. Then I have a padding, and then this entire text field will go away. Okay, and in child, we will need a button. So elevated button is the widget which we will be using. This only will have two things, child, and in the child I can do constant text submit, and on press is where all the magic should happen. So I will do like this. For now we will do if underscore form key. Okay, so again we are referencing the form. If the current context, no, not context, but current state. Okay, if current state, which is optional, is valid, or is it valid? Okay, validate. If this is true, then why don't we print form submit can happen, like this. Let's see. So we have written a lot of code. So we have the form. The form is using this key which we have defined over here. Then we have a column inside that. Then we have created this two, we use these two padding widgets. Each padding widget has some 16.0 padding, and then we have text form fields, right? And at the last we have this button. So let's see what do we have in here, and where is my terminal. Okay, if everything is good, let me just reload. Oops, I stopped the application, which is not something which I wanted to do, but We'll have to wait a bit. Okay, so the app is ready. Let's click on welcome to dashboard. Go to the form. I'll type through my keyboard right now. Okay, and this can be anything. And if I hit submit, can you see form submit can happen? And if I remove this and continue to click, that thing doesn't come up and it says please enter the amount. So what we have done so far, we have created the form and added basic validation. Now, how do we ensure that from the form we are able to get the data, and that data is something that we can send as a post request? So I'll show you that inevitably we will be sending post requests like this. You can see I had made this dummy entries which are also visible on my list. So yeah, that's inevitably what is going to happen. So let's go through it. I have this. I need to add. So like I don't know if you have some experience with React, but typically what happens is when in text fields in React we write an on change event, and whenever there is a change in the text field, we update the value in state. So something similar we will be doing in here as well. Okay, I will create a map, something like final map, which will hold data. The first property will be string, and the second property can be dynamic. Okay, we'll call this form data. Okay, this is where we will store the data which we want, and initially we will have description. I think I had used the keyword description. Let me see the validation. Yes, so description is null by default or empty by default, and amount will be 0. Okay, and now what we are going to do is we're going to say that if the validation is also done on save, we will have value, and this is a function. On that, what we can do is assign this thing, something like form data. This is description, okay, equals value. So whatever is coming over here will be available to us. So the same thing I will add, over here, and this will become amount. Now that we have these two things, let's see if we are able to get that on the submit of the button. So we have a property called form key dot what it is current state dot yes, save, not set state but save. So if we do this and do print form data, let's see what's coming up. I'll have to open the console, and now go to that page. Test 12 11 does work for me, and if we click, can you see description and amount is coming, right? So this is what we wanted to do. If I click again, it's updated with 111. So yeah, we are able to get the form data over here. Now the only thing which we need to do is make an HTTP request so that we can send this form data which we have over here through a API call. So we have made API call in the past. If you see in expense list, right, where is our API call, you see we use the HTTP get. So we are going to use the same thing. Obviously I'll copy this, get this package and add it here, and I'm going to create a function inside here. Let me make some space. Save expense is going to be a function it takes map string dynamic, okay, something like that, data. Okay, this is an async method. And what do we do over here? We have await http dot post. In here we use URI dot oops one extra, yeah. Okay, this is going to be what my URL is, api.php. Get and post are expense, right? So I can pretty much copy this URL. I need to figure out a way to get some constants or something. I haven't done that, and this is bad because my source code has the URLs hard-coded. So yeah, if my environment changes, right, it will be a problem. Right, so URI parse is done, and then I will send some headers. Headers will be something like string, oops, not this one, but string, what happened? String, comma, string. Okay, and inside brackets, curly braces, I have content type, okay, application slash JSON, and I'd like to pass char set equals UTF-8. Okay, this is important because Laravel needs to identify this content type. Okay, spelling mistake, content type, so that it can understand that JSON data is coming. Okay, this is important. And then we have body, and in here we'll do JSON encode and the data. Okay, and data is something which is coming as a parameter. What happened? Something broke. Is it this? Yeah. Okay, so what I understand is if this happens properly, then I can basically call this function on the submit of the form. So instead of printf or the print, we are going to call this function. So let's see if everything is right. We might actually save this expense entry, which is test and 111. Let's see. Did anything break over here? No, but I have a logger. So if you see, I have logged all which is coming to request, and this is what we got as data, right? If I change something, hit submit, come over here, I get that log as well. And the beautiful part, if I go back and if I hit refresh, my pull to refresh, please work. I'm not able to do that. Okay, yeah, now it worked, and you can see the two entries, test and test something, is coming up, right? So two small little things I would like to do. One is, if you see, description is a text, but amount is coming up as a text field, and ideally I would like this one to be a number. Okay, so a small little change. Where is my second text field? This one is enter amount, right? So in here I will do keyboard type. Let me get what all things I have inside this. There is something called as text input type dot this is going to be number. Okay, so with this, if you now see, if I close this keyboard, description is giving me a normal keyboard, amount gives me this number pad, right? A small little thing, but yes, obviously this is very useful. And the last thing is, if the expense, once the expense is saved, right, we will do something like, a redirection to the expense list. So navigation dot navigator dot push, sorry, navigator dot push, not pop, push, Okay, inside this I have the context and then material page route. The builder is here, and then I'll do context and then constant. Our page name is expenses, so expenses. Come on. Why it's not working? Material page route. So I have navigator dot push. The first parameter is the context. Yes. And then I'm passing material route, which is also correct. Constant. I think this is going to be expenses. This is expenses. So import package expenses. I think this is the one. Expenses. Right. Yes. This one is imported, right? And I'll add this semicolon. So now the entire thing ready. Let's restart the app once. Okay. The keyboard doesn't go away, by the way. I don't know why. Okay. I'm over here doing this through mobile. Okay, that's all that I want to do, right? Enter the number. Let's just say 120. Hit submit, and we have our entry. So as you can see, with this we have completed our entire flow where we created a page where we have this form, right? And we are able to now submit the entire entry into the database as well. So yeah, that's about it, guys. If you like this video, do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.